Right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Wake up.
There we go.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide, KFMA.com on this beautiful Friday, September 15th. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. All right, so many things to get to today. I'm going to double up your opportunities to win tickets for both Thrice and the Santa tour today. That means the tickets remain at 60th birthday. Listener bait galore. We're going to be playing games, giving those away every single hour this morning. You got an opportunity to get hooked up with some big tickets to some awesome concerts, okay? And I have a lot of stuff to get to. Obviously, I'm laser focused on something, as you could tell, Weirdo, when it came in. Unfortunately, yesterday afternoon, I got some bad news from our boss, Mac, who said basically one of his best friends, an icon in this industry, had passed away unexpectedly, somewhat expectedly, but you know, still it was a gut punch to everybody involved. I'm talking about Jonathan L. Jonathan L was one of those icons in radio, one of those forward-thinking tastemakers, a rare breed in a way. He started Virgin Vinyl on KLPX, actually. That show went on to win all the awards for many years. Jonathan L built up radio stations to be like the cool station after, you know, another cool station and a cool station. He was always kind of like ahead of the curve in being a tastemaker and be like, this is what the people want to hear. And in breaking bands that, you know, he believed in, saying, okay, you guys got to check out this band because they're going to be the next big thing. And then sure enough, like little bands that he would break would be selling out stadiums. I don't know if you ever heard of like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, stuff like that. Jonathan L was that guy. And, you know, I'm somewhat of a radio historian. You know, I love this.
Yes.
I love doing this. I've loved this for a long time. And when I was up in Phoenix, you know, working every day for free, trying to break into this industry to get paid and make a living doing radio for 7.5 years. Jonathan L was actually on the same station that I was on, KWSS up in Phoenix, with his Lopsided World of Bell, which you heard on KFMA for many years as well. And Jonathan was one of these people where you would be able to reach out and talk to. He was always there to listen and give advice. And, you know, like Mac, who I love, you know, the loss for him is even more so because that's like his brother. Now, I have many hours of conversation and time to, you know, communicate with Jonathan. As I did over the years, as he would kind of help me and put things in perspective and give me advice so I could take my career to the next level, to which I did. And I don't think I would have if it wasn't for like minds like his, like believing in me and helping me out. But when it came to Mac, like he had years and years of bonds and memories and stuff. So this was a devastating loss to the KFMA family for sure. For anyone who has listened to him over the years. And I think a lot of people in Tucson will probably recognize and remember the name Jonathan L, whether it be Virgin Vinyl on KLPX or Lopsided World L on KFMA. If you followed his career, moved back and forth up to Phoenix, whatever the case may be, you know, he spent an entire career really just being a talent enthusiast, much like myself. And you know, and also one of those rare breeds of DJs that were kind of like the cooler rock star in the room. Like, you know, like when other musicians would come and hang out with Jonathan L, they would quickly find out that they weren't the coolest person in the room. Normally it's the musicians and the rock stars that's the coolest person in the room. But really Jonathan L was the coolest person in the room. The DJ was the coolest person in the room. And that's something that I also relate to as well, you know, without saying. I was just watching the wrestlers. This is a different tangent, but I want to kind of point this out to any of our listeners out there. What makes me different than the rest of my colleagues in this industry, which I strongly believe. I was watching The Wrestlers last night on Netflix.
I saw that premiered. We're gonna be watching it.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's
Okay.
excellent. In fact, I actually posted this little clip of this owner having a seizure, whatever the case. But this owner or co-owner of OVW, he's in radio. He does sports radio, right? So after his little episode, they do kind of like an episode just on his background. His background is he's in radio. He's very successful in Kentucky. And then they show pictures of his childhood. And, basically he's like, yeah, I was a big nerd. And, now I'm a DJ and I got a bunch of fans, right? That's how most DJs are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes me different from the rest. I am not the DJ who grew up and didn't have any friends, right? And wanted people to love me, so I became a DJ. No. I was quite the opposite. Right? I was that center of the party. I was throwing the parties. I was like letting people know what was cool. I was making them laugh, smile, entertaining them ever since like elementary school. You could go and do a reference check on every single year, whether from elementary school, high school to when I pretended to be in college. I was that guy. Right? So I'm not a guy that's like, hey, I want people to like me, so I'm on the radio. No, I'm on the radio because I like people. I like to show you guys what's up, like what's cool. I like to make you laugh. I like to make you feel cool. I want you to be a part of my crew. My crew has been running deep for a long time and it doesn't stop. And that's what separates me from all these other nerds, right? I'm looking at you, John Jay. I'm looking at you, Frank. I'm looking at all you posers that are out there trying to be the cool guy. And that's the reason why you're in radio. And then I was trying to tell bosses while I was trying to get a legitimate job. Jonathan L. was one of those guys who was the coolest guy in the room before he got into the industry. That's what made him real and authentic and organic. And in a lot of ways, I like to be a tastemaker as well. It's corporate radio. Hands are tied a little bit, but they're giving me leeway. We get to do the single song takeover. We get to give you a heads up. We're going to do the post-pandemic playlist show because there is an art to the original influencer, which is the radio DJ.
Yeah.
That's what we are. Right. And we're bringing that back. And we're bringing it back in the memory of those who laid the ground and foundation before us, the Wolfman Jackson, the Jonathan L's. So Jonathan L's a legend and he passed away and it's unfortunate, but he had one hell of a legendary run.
Yeah.
This entire show is dedicated to many mentors and just somebody who had such a positive influence in the world of music. So thank you, Jonathan L., for helping me out and helping me get to this point. Thank you for helping out our boss and mentor, getting him to this point as well, and everything else. See, I'm getting choked up. So let's get it started with a throwback of a song that you used to hear on. That was my show open this morning. Good morning, everybody on the podcast broadcast. We are live as they're hanging out here with a Weirdo, of course, and I'm seeing all your comments, loving it. But yeah, I started the show on one for sure. And then have not let off the gas all morning long.
Yeah.
And it's been a love fest of sorts too. Good to see you, 10 for sure. But yes, I was basically going in being like, all these fucking nerds, get out of my way. The coolest man on the all right. I'm gonna get off my soapbox here. What's up? We're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Podcast broadcast is live, so you can join the conversation. YouTube.com/Beef Vegan or on KFMA's Facebook page or Beef Vegan's Facebook page, which is my Facebook page. I don't know why I'm saying it in third person. We have your TMI Top 5 coming up after the Foo Fighters. Keeping the conversation moving. YouTube.com/Beef Vegan. It's the podcast broadcast. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, my big point was, watching the wrestlers, which I put together a little clip I want to show you real quick, which is insane. Of this OVW owner who's in radio, is a sports radio host, and has good ratings in Kentucky, works for iHeart, and apparently makes bank. The guy drives a Lexus and shit. Made me mad. And then they showed his backstory. He talked about his backstory of being this loser kid who had no friends and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, F that, dude. You and every other douchebag in this industry. And I say douchebag because a lot of these guys behind the scenes are straight up assholes.
Yeah.
Right. And then they're getting called out eventually. Some of them get canceled. Some of them get too popular to be canceled. Right. I'm not pointing at you, weirdo, but you know what direction I'm pointing at. Fucking nerd. The guy I worked for 3 years, fucking nerd. He didn't have any friends or anything like that. He just wanted to be on radio to get some attention because nobody cared about him in real life. And if there was one thing that separated me from all of my colleagues in here, is I was never that guy.
Mhm.
In real life, I could walk into like a bar or club and I could make friends. I could hang out with people. I could have a good time.
Yeah.
I did that in school. And then I wasn't the bully type either. So I was the cool kid and friend to like people who would get picked on as well. And I would pick on the people who would pick on the kids.
Mm.
That's the type of person I am.
Yeah, I would
And
agree.
yeah. So
From what I've known you now just over a year.
mhm.
Yeah. Sounds accurate.
Right. Yeah. And the problem is, and the reason why, and I try to stress this to even my friends who are, who might have grown up that way, is that they're not being authentic. Like that's the thing. They're pretending to be something they're not. And I think the only thing that I have, the strongest asset I have going for me, is I will be unapologetically myself, right? And
Yes.
authentic. And then no one could ever call me fake on any level. I don't think.
No.
Yeah. In fact, actually, there are times I should really just shut the fuck up and not reveal everything that I'm feeling or thinking in real time, but I don't.
Well, and just making it personable, like for any, like whether it's radio personality, podcast personality, like just making it real. Like that was one of the biggest like reasons you told me why you brought me on.
Yeah.
Is because like
Real.
I don't care. Like nothing to me is taboo. Like let's just talk about everything.
Exactly. And, and I said this, and I let Powers know too, once I started inviting you back. And, as far as what I look for in radio people, to be a part of the show. Are
Mhm.
you honest and open? That's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Are you? And are you not afraid to be you? And that is the type of people that I look for and recruit and bring up. And those people who can't be themselves end up not being able to be a part of the show.
Mhm.
Right?
Oh my God. When I turned 30, my mom, and at the time I was like trying to address my mental health and all this stuff. And like I was medicated at the time. She's like, so now you're 30, you're getting this all taken care of. Like, you're going to like calm down now. Right. And I was like, God, no.
Right.
Jesus, you gave birth to me and have known me for 30 years. Like nothing is stopping the weirdo train.
Yeah.
Sorry. In fact, I've probably gotten louder since.
Tara said, please stop playing country music. I'm right there with you, actually.
Mhm.
The whole Hardy Jelly Roll phenomenon on active radio is something that it's a trend that will end eventually.
Yeah.
I do feel your pain, Tara. So tell you what, if you're watching along on the Facebook stream, you have my single song request of the day. So what song do you want to hear, Tara? Put it in the comments. Let me know if it's a band that you used to hear on KFMA. My only stipulation is that it's no curse words, and then hopefully I have it in the KFMA playlist so I could play it for you. So whatever you want to request, Tara, thank you for your comment. Go ahead and post a comment and let me know, and we'll definitely play that here soon. But now it's 9:13. Time for your TMI Top 5. So many things to get to today, and we've been all over the place. So let's continue this. First and foremost, this actually was breaking news earlier in the week. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's kind of a big deal. An FDA panel ruled earlier this week that the most common decongestant in America doesn't actually work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called, and this is me trying to pronounce it, but I have it broken down. Phenylephrine. Phenylephrine.
Phenylephrine?
Yeah, you say it so commonly. Well, now, unfortunately, tweakers, you can't make meth with it. It's the stuff that's in the lame version of Sudafed that doesn't have the ingredient that people use for meth.
Okay.
But it's also in NyQuil, Mucinex, Tylenol, cold and flu, and a ton more. And they're basically said, hey, if you have this drug in these drugs, take it out because it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, we've been ingesting that for generations.
Oh,
so
God.
that's a heads up, and that's a big story.
Mm.
All right, someone in Houston gained access to electronic construction sign on Monday and changed the message so it said, due to weather, go F yourself. I've never seen a more appropriate and accurate traffic sign.
Yeah.
So whoever that person was, I salute you. There's apparently a dating trend called slow dumping. Yeah, and I wonder if you've ever been in this situation. It's when one person distances themselves physically and emotionally slowly until the other person is forced to deal with it or end it. I actually relate to this. I feel like my last relationship, I was a victim of the slow dumping.
Oh,
slow dumping.
okay.
Yeah, to the point where I was just like, hey, man, this obviously is not working. Why do you continue to do this instead of just pull the Band-Aid?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I've also done it myself. So, I mean, it's not like I'm no angel here. But, yeah, that's a trend that's happening. So be on the lookout for that.
Well, I'm not on the dating scene, so we're fine.
I know. Well, even if you get slow dumped by one person, you still have 2 other people to fall back on. Hashtag poly benefits, right?
Yes.
I mentioned meth earlier. Speaking of which, a woman tried to sneak meth to an inmate in jail by sending them a drug-soaked piece of mail. Yeah, this is not the first time that this has happened. In fact, actually, there's a story that I want to share with you on the podcast broadcast. I can't share with you on the air. But Jules, like a friend of the show and like a friend I've held out as well, and she's listened to KFMA for years. She posted something from her ex-boyfriend who's in prison right now for murder. And she posted a picture of a letter that he sent her. It's a very simple letter. But that picture has now been like kind of went viral and other people are trying to take credit for it. But I remember the original post and everything. It's gnarly. And it's something I can't even try to explain to you on the FM side. That's how amazing this love letter is. But let me end the TMI top 5 with this. People are talking about scams that have become normalized. So we don't even realize they're scams anymore. Can you think of anything off the top of your head that's a scam that's kind of normalized that you don't even realize is a scam anymore?
Like when you go to restaurants or just anywhere that's got that point of purchase where you swipe your card and it's like, do you want to donate $1? That is actually a scam. And that is the company saying, hey, you donate $1. We're going to take a couple cents off each one as a processing fee that they keep. And then the company claims that they made the donation and get the tax write-off. Yes, the money does eventually get to that, but like there's all this like red tape in it to where the corporation gets the benefit.
Yeah, they need to stop that right now. First off, because like a portion and legally they don't have to give the whole $1.
Nope.
In fact, actually legally they only have to give a small percentage of that, right? So every single time they say, "Hey, you want to donate $1?" and you think you're being a good person, you're actually being a rube. And they are they're like basically stealing from you $1 at a time. And I don't think, these big organizations will be satisfied until we're all dead broke, living in a ravine. So, yeah, watch out for that. That is definitely one of those scams. You could always donate money directly to any charitable organization that you believe in, but also do your research on that because there are a lot of 501c3s out there that follow the same code.
Yeah.
Where the CEO or president of this nonprofit is driving a brand new Mercedes. Right. Well, yes, there's a list in this thread that includes a lot of bickering about taxes, tip culture, paying for parking fees, and upcharges. But I think your example is probably the best out of all of them. All right, we're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast there. We're going to show you some viral videos and more. I'll be back right after this with your single song takeover. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right, so let's see. I want to see if Tara commented and heard me talk about this here. Something from 72 Seasons? No, Tara didn't say that, Andrew. Look at you, trying to pull a fast one. And Tara's probably listening to Morgan Wallen right now. Let's see. Boom. What were some other? Erwin, you had a request? Say beef. She doesn't have one in mind. Rise Against. Stop by Rise Against again. I think we just did that. Let's see. Back in the day, it was called Falling Out of Love. Yeah. Now it's called Slow Dumping. Detachable Penis would be fantastic. I don't have that in my playlist. Big Brown Beaver is good too. Let me see. I want to see if I have either Detachable, which I don't think I do because I would have played it. Yeah, I don't. But Big Brown Beaver, I do. But I don't know. I want to vibe a little harder than that. See, all these issues. Tara, if you would have just stuck around, you would have had so much control. The next 2 weeks, 10, talk to me. We will work something out. Next week is slammed. I have a lot of things happening next week, including Daughtry coming in studio on Friday. And then we're doing our beard MV contest on Thursday, which is going to be a fun podcast. And I see you, Manny. Manny, be prepared. I'm definitely going to have you in as one of the contestants for the Beard Envy. So it'll be next Thursday, 9 a.m. I need you in studio with the other two people that you're going to be competing against. And we definitely have some stiff competition for sure. So next week is a clusterfuck, but we do have a lot more. Let's see. And then I'm pulling it up here. Beard Envy, and of course Tap Out Catalina, so Tony on Tuesday, and then food. So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it next week, but the following week I could probably squeeze you in on one of the days. So we'll try to figure out which day is best. So hit me up 10, we'll make it happen. I know you guys got some new music coming out. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, and my beard doesn't grow long or thick, actually I could grow it longer, but it looks like pubes on my face. So all right, maybe I guess we're gonna do Primus Terra. If you watch this stream, you're popping up, you missed the golden opportunity. And then Erwin, I am kind of feeling Stop by Rise Against right now because I do love that song. So you know what, how about I do both and double up on my single song takeover because Jonathan L. What would Jonathan L do?
Yeah. I'd be like, F it, let's go.
Yeah. So there we go. 2 requests. We satisfy 2 people at the same time. Big Brown Beaver. Boom. There we go. Make It Stop. Is it Make It Stop? Hold on, let me hear. That's not the song I was hearing. I was thinking Stop. But you want Make It Stop. Fuck it. We'll do Make It Stop. Okay, so that is different than the other song that I heard. Let's see. What did Taco say? That's what Oprah Winfrey is doing with Maui. All right, good. All right, we got so much. Let me get ready for this. Earlier this morning, we did our Morning Moron. That was fire, in case you missed it. It went a little something like this. Check it out. Station up in Phoenix called KQ. And this was an alternative station before alternative radio was a thing. And Jonathan L was like, hey, guys, you need to know about this little band coming out of LA called the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because I have a feeling that they're kind of a big deal. Fast forward 40 years later, they're the effing Rolling Stones. So we're going to get into Knock Me Down off of Mother's Milk from the Red Hot Chili Peppers going out to Jonathan L. We got Tiger Cub after that. That's a band that we believe could be the next big thing. And then your Morning Moron. Let's keep it here all morning long. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Tiger Cub on Rock 102.1 KFMA 617. And time for your Morning Moron. Let's do it. All right, we're starting off on the podcast broadcast, which you'll see in the replay later with the mugshot of today's Morning Moron. Get a look at this beauty. Yes.
Sexy.
Yeah. You can see the dumb on some people's faces.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. No, well, this guy, he earned the title of Morning Moron. And, I've done stories like this in the past, so it's kind of like a reoccurring thing. It's like a Groundhog Day of stupid, if you will.
Yeah.
Where, somebody will steal a car, go on a police chase, and then end that police chase with the suspect who's fleeing from police accidentally crashing into a police station. That's exactly what happened with this dude in Boston or New Hampshire. He was a carjacker named Barton, and on Monday he was driving a van which he stole at gunpoint, and he was fleeing from the cops, running red lights, doing everything, just putting everyone's life at risk. Right before he lost control and crashed into a police department. Now, he jumped out of the van, tried to run through the station's parking lot, but guess what? There were cops there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dude. It's like they were showing up for work or going out on their shift. They were just there. A lot of them. So,
was it during shift change? So it was like double the cops?
Probably. Worst possible timing ever, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the cops caught up with them, tased the hell out of them, and then arrested him, and then tased him one more time for safe measure.
Right.
Now, they say no one was hurt, but I have a feeling that Barton was a little bit hurt.
Yeah. A little twitchy.
Yeah. He was arrested on 8 charges, including reckless conduct with a deadly weapon, receiving stolen property, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, they can't charge him for being extra stupid and having the worst luck. But for Barton, carjacking a van, leading police on a chase, and then ending that chase by crashing into a police station, one of the best morning morons we ever read.
Yeah.
Dummy. Finger 11 with Paralyzer on Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents, and congratulations once again to Scott picking up our first pair of tickets for Thrice. But we'll have another pair of tickets to give away for that. Plus, we have 2 opportunities for you to win tickets before they go on sale today at 10 a.m. For a Perfect Circle. What is it? Primus and Pucifer. Yeah,
Pucifer.
I say Pucifer, but I always space on that one. So here's the deal. Considering we're going to play some games for some of those tickets, also, when you hear a Perfect Circle today, be caller number 10. Okay, so whenever I play a Perfect Circle, be caller number 10 to be able to pick up those tickets for Santa, which is going to be April 17th. That's one way you can win the tickets. The other way is to play a game, and we have a couple games lined up for you on this fun Friday. But before we get into all the fun, let's talk real stuff, right? Every now and then we drop some real news. Currently, just yesterday, I think it started, the Auto Manufacturers Union went on strike. Now, I was actually listening to the leader of the union about 2 weeks ago as they were talking about the potential of the strike happening and why the strike's happening. And really, it's a universal conversation, an argument that I've brought up several times on this show, and that is the wealth gap continues to grow. Middle class continues to shrink.
Yes.
And they're asking for a fair wage. And so are other people. In fact, actually, every other person in every other industry. Times be tough.
Yes.
And, we shared a fact with you about a month ago that's not so fun, that, the billionaires doubled their wealth from 2019 to today. The billionaires, right? Nobody else got a pay raise.
No.
Right? So what is middle class? And depending on what state. In fact, I came across this piece on Fox 10 saying how much money you actually need to be middle class in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody ready to be disappointed?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, and I don't want to have to open up the phones to the depressed lines and be like, are you middle class or lower middle class? I'll tell you right now, I'm lower middle class. Now, here's a fun fact for you. Always have been, right? Just a poor kid playing in the dirt. That's who I be. Eventually, you would think when things go well enough, you will get a company and believe in you enough to pay you a living wage.
Right.
That's my fingers crossed scenario. And I'm hoping that will be the case. But, when I saw how much money, it doesn't seem that much to be middle class.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you guess is the annual income per year that you would need to be middle class in Arizona?
My guess would be like 100,000 because they're probably assuming there's 2 incomes, like a married couple.
Well, that's actually 2 incomes, but that would make you middle class for 2 incomes, but upper middle class if you're doing that by yourself. In Arizona, actually, the number is pretty obtainable, 57,964. That's how much you would need to be technically middle class in Arizona.
Okay.
Now, if neighboring states, it's a lot more. Like in California and Colorado, you need $70,000 to be middle class, right? Nevada at 66, New Mexico at 64, Hawaii tops the list. You need 82,000 just to be middle class in America.
Wow.
Yeah, it's brutal. And unfortunately, the number continues to go up because of inflation and prices. In fact, at the end of this sentence, now the answer for a middle class in Arizona is $58,015. So see, it just went up. It just went up like $25, weirdo. That quick.
Wow.
I know. And I did the math yesterday as far as billionaires are concerned. How many, 57,000 divided by $1 billion. Like, how many people would that help? Like, how many people could you pay in? And it's over 17,000 people you could pay a minimum middle class wage for that $1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of people.
It is.
And it continues to go. So every time you hear of the Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezos, the Bill Gates getting another billion and billion on top of that, and all their great, fantastic tax cuts and stuff, that is the core of America getting stripped away from just a healthy living wage. Now, just the other week, Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson donated some money for the Maui Fire Foundation, right? And encouraged other citizens to donate as well, to which the entire internet turned on them and was like, how dare you, rich, entitled son of a bitches. And Oprah Winfrey was taken aback by this. She was surprised at the reaction and the bitterness of people when she asked for them to donate, because she still donated some money.
Yeah.
And I know the answer for Oprah, and she doesn't get it because her wealth doubled as well because she's a part of the 1% elite. The reason why people are so upset is because they are struggling, going paycheck to paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
And seeing the over excess of those, lucky elite.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how dare you? Now, if our middle class was stronger and people were making a living wage, most people aren't greedy enough to need everything.
Right.
They just need enough to get by, have fun, grab some beers, bang the old lady, take a nap. That is the secret to success. Most people just want that.
Right.
Maybe a boat would be cool too. But besides that, they don't really want much. So, if the majority of the population isn't even making that middle class wage, you're going to get more and more people even upset at the idea that a rich person is asking contributions to a charity for people that need it.
I mean, she could have donated $1 billion and it wouldn't really have affected her.
Exactly. Be like, bitch, I know you got another $1 billion laying around.
Right. What are you doing with it?
And that's not me saying that. That's America. All right, let's hit the reset. We got Draft My Lives coming up right after this. Plus, all right, we're back here live playing Primus, one of those big brown beaver here. And I just saw the comment. Let me share this. Jeff said, we need a hacker to hack the rich people and send money to all of the poor, right? To everyone poor. It's funny that you mentioned that because Vegas is being held hostage as we speak by hackers. Yes, this happened 5 days ago. I'm going to share you this so you can just see this headline from the Daily Mail, just being one example. And I'm going to break down exactly what's happening in Vegas to two of the major casino companies, right? MGM says chaos in Vegas. MGM casinos are still under siege with slot machines offline and huge lines at check-ins 5 days after hackers first paralyzed the company.
Ooh.
And not just MGM. They also did it to Caesars. Caesars. I'm still thinking about hackers, wrestlers. I'm all over the place. But yeah, so that's the headline. What exactly is happening in Las Vegas? I'm going to break down basically the entire story here in about 15 seconds on the air. But yeah, they don't know what to do right now. It's been they say a 3-day attack, but I guess it's like a 5-day attack.
It's still going on.
It's still going on. That's how well they hacked Las Vegas. And it's kind of crazy. So Rock 102.1 KFMA, welcome back on the podcast broadcast. We're live. And as I was sharing on the stream, we got a comment from our streamer, Jeff, talking about how hackers should probably hack the rich and give the money to the poor, Robin Hood style, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of happening right now in real time in Las Vegas, as basically half the strip is being held hostage by hackers. See, what happened was earlier this week, several Las Vegas properties, as well as other cities owned by MGM Resorts International, were subjected to chaos after a hacker got into their systems and completely wreaked havoc, right? So the area, the MGM Grand, Mandalay Bay, the Bellagio, and a host of other casinos had to deal with snaking check-in lines, like restaurant reservations being upside down, room key cards that don't work, slot machines that are non-functioning and offline. And that is the majority of their money, mind you, is those slot machines. All right.
Yeah.
They make more money than any table game in the casino combined. It's all about the slot machines, which fuels the success. And when I say MGM Resorts International, I told you it is the majority of the strip. There are not too many other casinos that are on the Las Vegas Strip that aren't owned by MGM. But if you're thinking to yourself, well, what about Caesars Casino? I'm like, well, actually, that's not owned by MGM, but they've been hacked too. Yeah. Caesars Entertainment has confirmed in an SEC filing that they also fell victim to a hacker last month. In that instance, Caesars reportedly paid the hackers $15 million to regain access to their system. So maybe.
Holy crap.
Yes, dude. Yeah, hacking is big business for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe MGM could blame Caesars for their misfortune today because they gave in to terrorists and paid them off. And they're just like, oh, well, why stop there? Let's go for bigger and better. MGM is a bigger company that owns more properties and casinos, not only in Las Vegas, but all over the world. And that's exactly what they did. And 5 days after they've hacked into the system, things still aren't restored.
Holy crap.
Yeah, can't even.
Alpha V? Is that what that group is called?
I don't know. Yeah. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah. Alpha
Okay.
V.
Alpha V.
Yeah. And they're saying it on Twitter, like, hey, we did the thing.
did the thing. What is their motivation for the thing besides money?
They're not saying.
Yeah.
They just want that money.
Yeah, well, so
And they've been successful so far.
in this world, money is enough motivation, is it not? Right? So yeah, this is an ongoing deal that right now, if anyone that you know in Vegas is straight up dealing with chaos. So imagine just the pain in the ass of doing manual check-ins or check-outs, or anyone that was there at the time. And they're not going to get a refund anytime soon because the casinos are bleeding. It's insane. I actually have some videos I could share with you here on the podcast broadcast stream of some of the chaos that's happening. You can see in real time. I'm going to share this here on the screen. So like this Twitter user posted this up. I'm going to have to pull that up on a different clip. I'll show you on the podcast broadcast. But yeah, it is nuts and chaotic, and we'll see what happens as it continues to go. Luckily, I don't think there's any big events in Vegas this weekend. So maybe they have a couple days to try to get their stuff restored. And how much money do you think this hacker group's going to get from MGM if they scored 15 million from Caesars?
Well, and on this, on some website I found, Engage It, the conversation that granted initial access only took 10 minutes.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
So yeah, they use common social engineering tactics or gaining trust from employees to get inside information.
They're utilizing AI to make them even better. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing, right? David said, I feel sorry for those hackers when they find them. Yeah, I mean, Vegas and MGM still gangster, even though they're a conglomeration. But yeah, this is crazy. The fact that they're doing that. And, you know, you would think out of all the places in the world, you would think, first off, government is highly secure, but you would think close to that is got to be the Las Vegas system and a multi-billion-dollar company like MGM. You know that they didn't just have the password as password. They made it very difficult, and it only took these guys 10 minutes. Terrifying. I guess that's one silver lining of not being rich, is that you don't have to be worried about being targeted, right?
Right.
All right. Well, we got Weird News with Weirdo coming up next on the broadcast side. But on the podcast side, we got some viral videos to share with you. So you can join us, youtube.com/Beef Vegan, or keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1. Clear.
Yeah, Robert, that's exactly what I first thought. I was like, hackers, where's my rollerblades?
Yeah. Hack the planet, Fight Club style, eliminate all debt. And it's like, before you do that, let me accumulate some debt. That'll be awesome. I've been too afraid to get in debt because I can't rely on Brad Pitt to save my ass.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, as good as they're doing, you know, the financial institutions, the banks, they're coming up next. And maybe you're going to get those hackers who are like, you know, I don't want your payoff. I just want to watch the world burn.
Right.
Heath Ledger, Joker style. I say government is the lowest bidder. Vegas would probably be better than the government, and you're not wrong. I mean, 15 million right off the bat. Caesars didn't even flinch, didn't even hesitate. They're just like, yes, hurry up. You got us. Boom. And we'll try not to have that happen again. MGM didn't see that as writing on the wall, apparently, to extra protect themselves. They're just probably like laughing it up, like, sorry about your luck. And then what?
Well, I mean, the attack that happened on Caesars, that was only in August. They might just not have had time.
Yeah. I mean, it's that intense and that quick how they were able to flip that around. Insane. Insane. I do here. I'm going to share, remove that. And then I'll share the Twitter here. And then I'll also share you the wrestlers thing. So I started watching wrestlers on Netflix yesterday. I think I got through the whole series. Now, if you're a wrestling fan, you know the league OVW. Yeah. Because that's where, you know, like wrestlers like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Randy Orton, and Batista all came from. Developmental. Well, Al Snow is running that, and he's co-owner along with these two other guys who never been in the the wrestling business, just had some money, and they have no right being in the business. Yeah. And it's a very interesting, entertaining documentary because not only does it show you behind the scenes of the world of professional wrestling, it's also like reality television about Kentucky trash people who are trying to be wrestlers. A lot of them are just like, oh man, this is just trailer, right? And just some maniacs there. There are a couple people there where you're like, oh, I can see them going on to be actual wrestlers. And then most of them you're like, no, this is
right. It's not gonna happen. Does Jim Cornette have anything left to do with OVW?
No, but I can't wait to hear his reaction about this series. Yeah. because it is that good. But so real quick, here's the chaos that you're seeing. That's just the lines. We're experiencing we are currently experiencing unforeseen difficulties, but we are diligently working to resolve these. 5 days later. Look at all these slot machines dead. Look at that. Crazy, right? And you also have to be fearful for anyone who's putting their money or information into these slot machines and casinos recently, because obviously they have all that information.
Yeah.
So they could really go pretty big. But that's
I don't think I've ever been into a casino that even just had one machine down.
I know.
Like, they are usually extremely efficient.
Yeah, because you're talking about $10,000 a machine a day, easily. They make a lot of money on that. So, all right, I'm going to show you this. So here's a jaw-dropping moment from the show The Wrestlers, even if you're not a wrestling fan. And I made this little short just from this. And, I've been on YouTube long enough and trying to figure out little tricks of the trade to kind of boost views and get the numbers up, get the subscribers up. And so I did what I've never done before, and that's film something that was on TV with my phone. Right?
Oh, you did like the screen grab?
Yeah. It wasn't even a screen grab. I've done screen grabs before. I literally busted out my phone, did record, and recorded the screen.
Got it.
And then I just pieced it together, just edited it up real quick, just say with the title that some people just don't have what it takes to be in the wrestling business. So here's the scenario. This guy named Matt, he's the one that triggered me about nerds and radio. He's very pretentious dude, egomaniac in a way. He showcases a lot of the different personalities that really make me feel like this is what's wrong with entertainment industry, right? Some nerd gets a little bit of success, goes straight to their head, and then next thing you know, he feels like he's better than everyone.
Right.
So he's a co-owner in this organization that's been around for 30 years now, at least over 20, and trying to, call the shots. But that's not how the wrestling business works. And, you got people like Al Snow and Doug Basham from the Basham brothers in the 90s who've been in the industry for their entire lives, know the kind of brotherhood and the unwritten rules of being in a professional wrestling business, meaning it's a gentleman's business, right? Your word means everything. And you're working with people. You're not working for them. And everyone's pretty much an independent contractor.
Right.
But Matt has this attitude that, no, if I'm paying you, you do what I say because I'm fucking paying you, right? And you're talking like he's paying him like $50 a show. You're not paying much, right?
Yeah.
But Matt is bleeding money. He's hemorrhaging money during this whole time. They'd say that they were like losing $30,000 a month doing this.
Holy
shit. And within 7 months, they lost a shit ton of cake. So obviously he's stressed about that. Then he's also stressed about, for the first time in his life, he has people talking back to him. Yeah, because these wrestlers aren't going to take any lip.
No.
Now, he tried to express an interaction and altercation that he had with a wrestler to the crew, with his management, and basically he was steaming and gave ultimatum like, this is not going to happen again. But then he actually melted down and induced a seizure, and it captured it on film, and it's crazy. And I'm going to show it for you real quick. This little clip from the wrestlers. Sorry, I'm giving myself a seizure. All right, listen, watch this. Wait, well, where's my volume on this? Okay, there it is. All right, watch this.
I'm not gonna pay for him to be here.
That's Matt.
That's not the best way I can do it. But when it comes to dealing with these guys, things like that are going to happen. Some worse, some less, not as bad.
Are you okay? Can you take a break? Let's get some water. I don't know exactly what to do, Jeff. You want to help?
Yeah, Jeff is having a seizure.
That's Al Snow being like he's having a seizure. Yeah. So it's even crazier than that. That's just a little snippet of it. And it was nuts to see that happen. So he's made conversation. He's giving ultimatums.
Yeah.
And Doug Basham was like, well, actually, that's not how it goes. And if you have another situation like that, you should probably bring it up to Al. He was being very calm about it, but it was a little pushback. And then they cut back to him, full blown like stroke seizure. And the one funny thing there's really not too much funny about somebody having a seizure and health, but somebody pointed out in the comments that everyone's go-to scenario, and no matter what the emergency is, water.
Yeah.
Give him some water.
Just give him some water.
Yeah. Dude's having a stroke. He's having a seizure. His leg fell off. Give him some water. Make sure he's hydrated. That'll fix him. So Al Snow is great in this too, because he is so, I don't know, just nonchalant about everything. Like he gives 0 F's in a way.
Right.
And it's like, he's the one that's like, he's having a seizure. He's the one that's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, no big deal.
And goes super calm on that. It was terrifying to watch and watch him recover from this. And he did. It took him a while to be able to speak clearly again. It seemed like he had a stroke. He denied having any paramedics look at him, and they drove him home. And then he continued on in the show. The show is wild. That show is a really fascinating show, whether you're a wrestling fan or not. Because it talks about small business, it showcases people chasing their dreams, the drama behind relationships between men and women and daughters and mothers, and also fallen from glory and trying to restore everything. There's so many different fascinating storylines that just happens to have wrestling as a backdrop.
Yeah, when I first saw it on Netflix before the trailer came out, I sent it to my husband because we're big marks, and I was just like, oh my God, this is gonna be amazing. And at first I was like, oh God, I just love listening to Jim Cornette.
Yes.
His mouth is the best. And then when I finally watched the trailer, I was like, oh my God, it's Al Snow. And then the amount of Al Snow and head gifts my husband and I were sending back to each other was so much fun.
Yeah, there's no Cornette in this because Cornette has nothing to do with OVW anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
Yeah, for years. But we're back on the air, Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Oh, actually, we're not. Let's see. Are we? Oh, actually, we are. We went back and forth. Well, we're back on the podcast broadcast. Got Weirdo here. You got some weird news for us, right?
I do. I came across this one. I was like, this is actually really smart. Why haven't we done this before?
Oh, well, yeah. Tell me what something smart is. I mean, I can tell you why we haven't done it because it's smart.
So I came across this thing about how they train dogs in search and rescue for humans.
Okay.
Now, sometimes they will take them to what is called the body farms, where people donate their body after science so they can research, what is it?
A decomposition.
Decomposition. Thank you. So now in the UK, they are actually asking for patients who have their legs or maybe another appendage amputated to donate to help train these dogs.
Oh.
So you can be a living patient and do your part. This is they're figuring it's going to come from a lot of diabetic patients, things like that, who get a foot cut off, where they'll preserve it and then they will take it to this very secret and secure location in the UK to train dogs to find you, because they were using pig flesh before. But we are not pigs.
We're very similar. I learned that from Gangs in New York and Bill the Butcher. Yeah. A lot of our organs and everything else, apparently we're very pig similar. And we probably taste like bacon too. Yeah. I know. Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, Dahmer, once he started eating people, he didn't stop. He kind of was addicted to it. Same thing that Tucson did as soon as they wrapped bacon around a hot dog. It made it a national pastime. So, it could be addictive. Yeah, that's gross and weird. But, I mean, I guess it's beneficial.
Yeah. So it says lower limbs removed in surgery and donated by consenting and living patients with conditions like diabetes are expected to be used.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're not going to use it anymore, put it towards some good. Just saying.
All right. Well, that's weird news, weirdo. Let's hit the reset on that and come back with your beef tip after these words. Keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/Beef Vegan. Clear.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm the same way. I'm like, donate my body to science. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Here's a morbid question, but when you go, do you want to be buried or cremated, or what do you want to do? Do you have a plan?
I want to be buried and do an all-natural burial.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Let me be absorbed by the earth.
Correct.
Yeah. Put a tree out my ass, right?
Okay, I used to make the joke because when at first they're like, oh, you could become a pod, which will become a tree. I'm like, make me into a tree that you can print Bible pages on.
Yeah.
I just figured it'd be the final irony.
Was that like a pussy willow? That tree?
Mm-hmm. It is a tree.
Hey, it's a tree. I'm not being vulgar. I'm just naming trees. Okay.
No, I just figured it'd be an oak tree. And then after, 100 years, cut it down. And the first response I usually get is like, what lawyer's office are you going to find that's going to like actually fulfill a will request 100 years later? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know either.
Bury me. Let me return to the earth. Put me in a pine box or a wicker casket.
I thought you were gonna say liquor cabinet. Yeah. All right. Earlier this morning, so Manny made a text or a message here.
Mm-hmm.
First Robert said, "Bury me and I'll grow into a burning bush." Yeah. So Manny made a message referencing the email that I received from a police officer today during F My Life, or just shortly after F My Life, because I cracked some joke. You want to hear the segment that I did that issued or motivated me to issue a public apology? It was a good one. In case you missed it, well, something like this. Check it out. Supplying the prizes, but also the experts in judging these beards. And then we're going to do like an in-studio beard Olympics. So we're going to select 3 people to come into studio on next Thursday and do various different activities to showcase their glorious beards. And you could see some of these beards already that have entered to participate at KFMA.com. When you click on Beast Beard Envy, there's a few beards where I'm truly, genuinely envious. Like, damn, that's a good looking beard, man. If I grow a beard like that, I would be a sailor, big, bushy, like all of it. I don't even care if my dream girl is like, I don't like beards that big. I'm like, sorry, babe, this is how I rock it. You can hit the door. I'll go for somebody else. I don't care. I got this beard. Me and this beard's going to keep me warm. So yeah, I'm stoked about it. And then next week also, speaking of, on Friday, we're going to have Daughtry in studio. And that's going to be good because it's going to be a live in-studio performance. He's performing acoustically later that night at Fox Theater with Aaron Jones, trying to get Aaron Jones in the afternoon as well.
Ooh,
doubling it up, dude.
That would be nice.
Yeah, super nice. But, Daughtry and that whole setup is big for a couple reasons. One, he's a notable musician, so that'll put some eyes on the product, and we'll have a good time getting to know him and listen to him perform in studio. But 2, I'm going to have the studio basically modified for him to perform. That will give me the option of having a second mixer so I could have other artists in studio to perform and sound really good. Right now, I'm kind of limited, right? Like, it's unfortunate, and it puts these musicians at a disadvantage to perform in this studio because it doesn't necessarily sound good. I know how to make musicians sound good and the audio equipment that I need. And luckily, since Daughtry's a big enough deal and has a couple like requests and requirements to do this, our engineer has to actually work, and it's amazing. So I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Do the one thing I've been asking you to do since day one.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. It's over 2 years. I've been asking him to do this thing that he's going to do for Daughtry, and I'm going to make sure that he does not change it. Like, I'm gonna have that secondary mixer ready to go anytime I want, because after that we have another band coming in and a lot of good stuff coming up on the show for the next few weeks going into the end of the year. So with that said, enough hype. Let's get into our F My Life's coming up after Godsmack. But as always, I have a bonus FML on this Friday to share with you from Tracy, and this one it made me actually kind of have the heebie-jeebies.
Okay.
Let's see if you feel the same. Okay. She wrote to me at beefvegan@kfma.com, said it took a whole half hour of scratching my head before I realized with horror that weird tickling sensation I'd been feeling was actually a spider crawling around in my hair. Oh no. Yeah, see?
That's bugs in my, that terrifies me because I had one of those June beetles crawl in my hair and it's gross.
Yes.
Spider is worse.
I'm sure that creeps everybody out.
Yeah.
That's the first step of my life. You know the rest of them are going to get pretty crazy on this Friday, so stick around.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600 KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another round of your F My Life's, the Friday edition. These are your emails sent to me at beefvegan@kfma.com, 79FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, and give us a call at 600 KFMA, that's 600-5362. And if Weirdo and I agree your life is effed, we'll hook you up with something. Let's get right into these emails. Are you ready, Weirdo?
I am.
All right, Victoria sent me this first one. It's a little spicy on a Friday, and I dig it. All right, she said, hey, Beef, the other day I was having some intense sex with my boyfriend. Oh, thanks for the heads up there,
Yeah.
Victoria. I was wailing so loud that my neighbors decided to call the police on us. According to them, it sounded like I was being tortured to death. F my life, what do you say?
Big baby.
Yeah,
You sound like you were having a grand old time.
big wailing baby. And honestly, hats off to your boyfriend. He's a legend. He
Yeah.
just became a Tucson legend. Good for him. All right. Next F My Life email sent to me by Savannah. She said, yesterday I realized my husband of 14 years is addicted to his phone. It's the first thing he sees in the morning and the last thing he looks at night. Yeah, this is tough. Is that an F My Life, though? Because it seems like all of us are somewhat addicted to our phones, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say F my life on that one because my family, we've made a really solid goal about having a much healthier relationship with our phones.
Yeah, and I think that's good for everybody and myself as well. I try not to go for my phone first thing when I wake up in the morning. It's a very difficult thing to do, but I do unplug or put my phone on the charger and try to not look at my phone for at least an hour before I go to bed. And sometimes I just throw it across the room because I'm like, stay away from me, Satan.
Oh, my goal is to have it in a completely different room.
I know, but it's tough. So, you know, and yeah, I could get the stress and strife that comes along with that. So I'm going to say F My Life, Savannah. Hopefully you'll get over it here soon if you talk about it. All right. Next F My Life email sent to me by Hunter. Hunter said, oh, man, Tuesday I noticed I had a dead gnat stuck on my chin. This was after an hour-long appointment with a good-looking doctor.
The doctor didn't say anything?
Right? At least check it out.
Right. So double F your life, that sucks you to dead thing on you, but also apparently your doctor doesn't pay attention.
Yeah, terrible doctor. Maybe you're not as good-looking. Doctor was avoiding your face, Hunter. That's not good. All right, I'm going to say F My Life as well. As a doctor, you should be like, I wonder why insects are dying on you. Maybe I'll look into that.
Or maybe stop hiring the escorts that dress up as doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next F My Life sent to me by Aaron. Aaron wrote, hey, Beef, today I woke up to a large spot of blood in my underwear. This wouldn't be too big of a deal if I didn't have a penis. Oh, Aaron the guy.
Yeah, might want to get that checked out.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
No.
All right, and final F My Life of the day sent to me by Austin. Austin said, Sunday morning, my mom got drunk and punched me in the nose, then yelled at me for bleeding on the carpet. Ooh.
Call the cops.
No, you can't do that. It's your mom.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Your mom doesn't need to punch you in the nose.
No, it's not right that she punched you in the nose, but that's your life giver. You got to be like, Mom, you got to stop punching me in the nose, man. You can't call the cops on your mom, though. I think that's against code.
What, trailer park code?
Yeah, trailer park code. You can't.
Oh, okay.
Like what? You're not third generation white trash too? Sometimes moms get drunk, be punching you in the face. It's not right, but you don't want to get the cops involved.
I'm trying to end generational trauma over here.
Yeah, take that up with your therapist. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know. You gotta love your mom. Yeah, a lot of us have crazy. All right, so I'm gonna stop it right there because I was getting myself in trouble. You see what I did there? I buried myself there. Weirdo, we're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. And yes, Robert, that was a good point. I will email back Aaron and tell him to stop taking ibuprofen because earlier this morning we did an F My Life where he said he woke up with blood in his underwear. Yeah. And he's a dude. So yeah, maybe it's an ibuprofen thing. Who knows? Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this show. But, we have a great week of shows lined up for you next week. And Rob and Nash going to be giving away Freaksome Parade tickets next.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So make sure you just continue to listen to the station all day. We appreciate you being a part of our crew. And if you get a chance, make sure that you like and subscribe on our social media so you can interact with us. See the little content that we'll be posting for your entertainment pleasure. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe. YouTube.com/Beef Vegan. Hit the notifications. And don't forget to like any videos that you may have enjoyed. Before we leave, though, I'll give you a beef tip. Today's beef tip is 4 habits that you might be doing that might exhaust you at work. Okay. Yeah. So here they go. Waiting too long between meals. Right?
Yes.
Working at a messy desk. Having too many browser tabs open, which I did not know. And watching emotionally charged TV shows. These are 4 things that inadvertently may be exhausting you. So if you've been feeling tired or exhausted, try to avoid those 4 things and hopefully you'll get the energy back up. And that's your beef tip of the day. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for listening in. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Laker. Lisa. Am I stroking out?
You almost had it, buddy.
Thank you. Story of my life.
come an end to all your grief.
Thank you guys. In memory of Jonathan L.
You've been mean,
Long live the legend. We'll see you guys on Monday.
I will knock out all your teeth.
Later. See? Later, not Lakers.